When Jasmine and I first met, well, I can say that I walked into the Morrisville admissions office and I was like, now there's a girl I could get to know. She was gorgeous. Her smile was beautiful. And, you know, when we first kind of locked eyes, it was just like, oh, hello, you're in the room. And we didn't say much to begin with, and then after we started to work together, we got put on different little projects and got closer, and we started flirting, and all of a sudden you're making dinner for them, and then they're going on spring break with you, and before you know it, you're asking her to marry you, and good to go.
Did he say go? I didn't know! We first met at Morrisville State College. We were both going to school there, and we both worked in the admissions office, and shortly after that we realized we were in the same psychology class. So one day Ben asked me if I wanted to study. It was all over from there. Ben proposed to me as a surprise. He came to Michigan. He drove all night. He left early in the morning from Syracuse, got to Michigan at like 10 a.m. and he had planned it days in advance with the barn manager. And she called me that morning and told me there was something wrong with Sparky and I needed to come out to the barn. So I just threw clothes on and drove out to the barn on a Saturday morning. Didn't shower, had old barn clothes on. I walked into the barn and there was Sparky, and I went over to him, and all of a sudden I heard footsteps behind me, and there was Ben in the barn in Michigan, and all of a sudden he was down on one knee and I was laughing, and that's what happened.
That's 5.
I know, I think she's like waiting for you. I'm like, I counted 5 by this time. Alright, come back here. And I walked out behind her. I turned around and was just completely awestruck, and I knew that was like the best expression I've ever seen on her face, and she was more surprised and laughing, and it was awesome. I don't think I've ever seen her laugh that much, and she was speechless, which is hard for her to do. So I dropped to one knee, and she thought I was just there to see her for the weekend. She thought that was good enough, and then when I dropped to one knee, she just kind of was overtaken with surprise and laughter. I didn't know if she was laughing at me or at the situation. But then she said yes, and it was fantastic.
What I'm looking forward to the most on my wedding day is walking down the aisle to Ben, and also realizing that we will be spending the rest of our lives together, and he'll be moving to Michigan, and I will be able to wake up every morning next to him.
Favorite things about the wedding is just seeing her come down the aisle, knowing that her father has entrusted something that he put so much time and effort into for the last, 22 years, and that's a real honor to have someone give me something that's very precious to them. That's going to be one of my favorite things in the wedding. The second thing would be having the reception where both the families are all together and everyone's having a good time. But the most important thing to me is finally getting to be with my wife by ourselves on our honeymoon and just spending time, quality time, after all this is said and done, all the planning, all the stuff that we had to go through to get to that point. That's going to be the most relaxing and the best part of it to me. But also just growing old with her and knowing that through the years we're going to get closer, and it's going to be hard, but it's also going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be an adventure that we're both ready to do.